Good morning. It's finally Monday. I'm not expecting much because the last 2 Mondays have been pretty bad. So I'm just going to work the breakfast and lunch and see what happens and hopefully make at least $100. Come along. Let's see if I could do it. Okay, the first order today is $9 going 7 miles for Starbucks. Figured just get it started. What are your car expenses? So about every 3 months, it seems like I'm having to put brakes on. That's my number one car expense, besides gas. Tires are more frequent doing these gigs, but, I don't know. I try to go out with routes. I try to go with routes that I'm going to use least amount of brakes because I use them. I have to replace them so often. So expressway, depending on the time of the day, I choose to do that. So I less brake usage. But for whatever reason, this time my brakes didn't last very long. I don't know if we bought a different brand or whatever. Oil changes, it depends on your car because my Explorer, you change it every 10,000 miles, but this Honda is 3,000 to 5,000 miles, depending if it's city or expressway. And then these roads, I don't know about where you live, but where I live, we have so many potholes. Our roads are in such bad shape that my struts and springs, they just, right now, they're making so much noise. It's crazy. And I know, when it's summer and then it goes winter and then it starts warming back up, those potholes just grow and grow. And there are some roads I'm going on that are absolutely horrific. So I know that that's probably hurting my brakes because I hurry up and slow down to avoid the big potholes, and then it hurts my struts and everything. So I don't know. That's on what's on my mind today is like, oh, I have to get brakes sometime probably this weekend. I'll have to get new brakes. They're just in bad shape. And it hasn't been that long. I know it wasn't like 3 months ago I just put brakes on. So, and I go about 100 to 200 miles a day that I dash usually. That's it depends. If I do a lot of shopping, I'm going about 100. If I do a lot of food orders, it seems like I'm going closer to 200. But you got to remember, I live about 25 miles away from where I dash and 25 miles back home. So that's the other part of it too, which I don't include that. I when I do my mileage, I go from when I dash now until I end my dash. So my car is definitely, luckily I have a mechanic as a husband and he does all my stuff, but I still have to buy the parts and still have to find the time and all that to do it. But if it wasn't for that, it would be very expensive for sure. Well, I've been sitting here for a long while and I decided to start doing my devotion, but then I get an order. So I've got a $7 order for Panera going 4.9 miles. All right, I got a Myers order for $10.25 for 11 items. Not going very far. Then they added a $9.75 while I was inside for 2 items. I think it's going an additional 6 miles. So problem is when they add a shopping order, when you start shopping, for some reason it has a problem going through the process. If it's stacked before you get there, it seems okay, but if they stack it while you're there, so I have to always call support. They click that they have been picked up, and then it works. But it is frustrating to have to call. But luckily, I have the widget open, so I can go ahead and put the address in my GPS and be able to go ahead and work towards dropping it off while they're fixing that. So that's another good reason to always have your widget working. So anyway, that's going to be $20. I don't know. I don't know how far this other order is because I couldn't see very well. So on my way. Today's devotion is titled The Words We Speak. And there were some really good Bible verses, but the one I liked the best was Galatians 6:2. Bear one another's burdens and thereby fulfill the law of Christ. So it talks about gossiping and how can be very hurtful for individuals, for groups, and even like churches. It can break a church. So as I'm reading this devotion and praying about it, I was thinking about my stages of life and gossiping. So I remember as a little girl, on Sundays, I go to church with my grandma. And, we eat, go to church, come to her house for lunch or whatever. And they'd sit around and talk about, did you see what so and so wore? Or what about they act all high and mighty, but we know what they did, blah, blah, blah. That was like, oh gosh, it would really bother me. I'm like, ugh. But then as I got older, it was fun to gossip and be part of that group. All right, that's what the ladies did. We all gossiped about the neighbors or church or whatever it was. And then about my 30s, I had some neighbors, and I loved sitting on their front porch. We drink coffee and chat and or whatever, and they were talking about everybody, and we gossip. I liked talking about curtains and food recipes and stuff, but sometimes it would just be all gossip. And it dawned on me, if they're talking about every single neighbor, that means they're talking about me too. And I didn't like it in the first place. And then when I thought about that, I'm like, this is really bad. And so it taught me a lot about what gossiping is really about, and that was probably where I stopped caring about gossiping anymore. But now, at my age I am now, I'm like, what I prayed about this morning was the fine line between gossiping and caring. That's really gray for me. You see somebody hurting and how can you help? And sometimes you want to help maybe anonymously or, um, some people just don't want to talk about things. So how do you help them without them realizing you're helping them? So, oh, hey, what's this person been up to? Or is that gossiping or not? The end result is to help this person through whatever it is that needs to be helped. So that's what I had been praying about. And then with this devotion today, just prayed a little more deeply regarding what is that gray area, and if you're helping somebody, I don't think it's gossiping, but I can see where it might seem like gossip. You're not doing it out of mean intent, you're doing it out of love. And I don't know that it's considered gossip because you're not saying, oh, did you see this or did you see that? Instead, you're talking about concern. Oh, what did the doctor say? Did you know if they got their results back? Or, did they have enough money for groceries? So, as long as you're talking to the informed person, but some people are so embarrassed or shy, it's hard to ask them. Sometimes it's not. Some people are like, you could ask them anything, do whatever. It's easy peasy. But some people, it's not so easy. So you got to go around back door to get the information, it feels like. So, anyway, I thought that was an interesting devotion and definitely something that I had already been praying about, but just at times. And so today really led me to pray harder and deeper about that subject. All right, I took this 13.25 dollar store order for 12 miles. I was already outside of the zone. This will take me back into the zone, so that's why there's so many miles. So that works. Should be pretty easy. It's multiples, and it's a really nice dollar store. So I'm excited about that too. Well, they sent me a few orders that I would have done if it wasn't lunchtime, like a $7 for Chick-fil-A for 5 miles, but it was taking me out of the zone and I have to come back. So I didn't take it. So, but on the other hand, now they're not really sending me anything. So should I have taken it and been happy or not? I don't know. It's so confusing sometimes because it's like, okay, it's lunchtime. It should be picking up. It's right now 10:59. So I didn't want to take that, get out of the way, and have to come back and miss some of these lunches. So I'm just sitting in the parking lot hoping that I made a right decision. Another thing about the car is I use my emergency flashers a lot, but I don't use them all the time. Just like earlier at that factory, I used them because I parked in a different spot than I normally do. Sometimes you have to park in weird spots to deliver it, and there's nowhere else to park. But I was following this, I don't know, pizza delivery person, I don't remember which company, we just kept running into each other, and he used his emergency flashers at every house, at every place he went. Do you do that? I'm not sure if it's just when it's an awkward parking spot, or should you always use your emergency flashers? I do definitely at businesses, I use it a lot. All right, I took this stacked order for $7.50 going 2.5 miles. The stores were right next to each other, and it's going to the same person, and I hadn't had anything for 30 minutes. So I'm happy to have this order. Well, it is slim pickings. So I went and took this $6.50 from Chicken Salad Chick for 5.2 miles. I don't know if I'll make my 100, but either way, I'll probably quit at 2. All right, I took a $21 order from Myers. I don't know, like for 14 items or something, going 14 miles. It's right by the house, about 10 minutes away. So I went and took it. I'm going to end my dash at that point. It's been a slow Monday, and I'd rather spend my gas and time on a busier day. I know that order may not be worth it a lot, but I love delivering to him. I've been delivering to him kind of often here lately, and he's in a wheelchair and assisted living. But today he was all dolled up and had smelly stuff on. I don't know if he found him a girlfriend in there or what, but I do enjoy, it's a kind of a long walk, but I enjoy delivering to him. He's always so thankful and appreciative. So it's kind of fun to deliver to certain people, I think. Well, I was going to end my dash, but they sent me an order in this area. So long as I'm in this area, I'll do a couple of them, see what happens. I have a long to-do list today. It's one reason why I wanted to quit early, but hey, $7 going to Jersey Mike's. I think it might be 6 miles, but it's still in this area. Trying to get closer and closer to home. All right, I finally made it home. I ended my dash about 1:15. This video will be coming out sometime Tuesday because when I'm doing my YouTube videos, for some reason, the software I'm using, editing doesn't seem to be an issue. It's a lot of fun, but downloading, it's become glitchy, and downloading's taken hours. So I'm getting some one-on-one lessons on using some other software, hopefully speed up the process, because it does kind of make it all daunting when it's taking hours and hours to download, and you have to keep your computer on, you can't let it sleep, or you have to start all over. So hopefully I can get that figured out, and my thumbnails updated and make them look cooler too. So I'll be doing that on some Tuesdays. So hopefully everything will go faster and it won't be so frustrating whenever I'm working on my videos. So today I worked 5 hours, made $91.25, went about 77 miles. So not awful, but it was super slow. I had so much downtime. And then, my acceptance rate is just in the toilet. I don't know. But maybe one day I'll see silver or platinum, maybe not. It's working out, so I'm not overly stressed about it anymore, so that's good. I've been not having any issues getting on the schedule. So as long as that keeps up, I'm happy with this. It takes all the stress off. If I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't. But I have learned that you have to, when you do stuff like DoorDash, you have to be flexible. And right now, Mondays and Tuesdays are terrible. Wednesdays are whatever. Thursday and Fridays seem to be great. And I don't do a lot of Saturdays, come and go. And I don't work Sundays. So I might be looking into changing things around where maybe I'm working Wednesday through Saturday or Thursday through Saturday. So I'll be playing around with that a little bit next week as well. So I'm not working Tuesday, so there won't be a video on Wednesday, but there'll be a video on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday so far. So, all right, until next time, I hope y'all are doing great. Be happy. God bless you.